And if you have the heart to actually add value to those people, you will be so uncommon in the eyes of those professionals because most people come in asking secretly how they can promote you versus how you can help them.
That's
So
like what John F. Kennedy said. Ask not what you can do for your country or what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
amen. Amen. That is it, Andrea. That's exactly it. It's
Yeah.
having that heart, that mentality.
Hi, welcome everyone. This is Andrea Gordon, your host for Realization, the podcast where we talk about literally everything that has to do with real estate. And the goal here being to educate people as to what it is realtors encounter in their daily life, in their annual business planning, all of it. Today, I'm really excited. We have Justin Stoddart with us. I was a guest on his podcast about a year ago, and I wanted to bring his information to you because I think it's very useful for anybody in the business. Welcome, Justin. Thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. It's really great to be with you. I enjoyed our conversation. I realized pretty quickly when you and I were talking that I'm talking to a real pro. And so it's fun
Thank
now being a part of your podcast and just the info that you put out, again, is coming from someone from experience who obviously has a great business. And yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk with people who are doing great things. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay. First off, everybody should know before we even get started that Justin's written a book called The Upstream Model, and he has a business that's called ProInsight. Can you talk to us for a little while about both of these things? I love it when
Yeah,
y'all write books and things.
yeah,
Mine's
you
about
bet.
to come out.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Yeah,
Can't wait to
yeah.
have you back on to talk more about that. Really, my book comes from my experience having been a luxury custom home builder for 8 years. At the time, I wanted to work by referral. I'm very much a relationship-based person. And yet my personal sphere wasn't keeping up with my ambitions. I was 25 at the time, and there aren't too many other 25-year-olds who are referring luxury custom homes. And yet I didn't want to go the cold market route, right? Nothing against that. It just was contrary to how I typically operated. And so I had to find a way to get warm business. And I realized that I could still have relationships, but just with the right people who were what I
Mhm.
call just upstream from a home being built. In other words, there are professionals right now in the marketplace who are dealing with people who are going to be building soon. And by building a network with those people, I could really focus in, add great value to them, and they could produce the same or really more referrals than even a high producing sphere could. And so that became a trend of mine. When I came into the real estate industry, I began teaching that principle to others. And it was remarkable how it really started to work. And I think many real estate agents understand this reality of having, an estate attorney, right? Tax professionals, financial advisors that are referring them, but few actually make it happen. And really the model that I documented was a way to help people to demystify how to have a network of professionals who refer you regularly that creates all kinds of things that people want, which is warm business. It creates higher margin business because you're not competing. When you come recommended from a professional they already trust, you're typically not being shopped against a bunch of other people. It's typically not the speed to lead kind of business. I got to take this call. I'm so sorry, you guys. I know this is an important dinner, but I got to take this call or they're going to go to somebody else. Right? It's people who will wait for you to call them back on Monday morning because they trust
Right.
the professional
Right.
from whom you came. So it's just better overall business. And by the way, because it came from another professional, in many cases, you get to collaborate with that professional, which actually creates an elevated client experience. So it's not just a better customer acquisition strategy, it's a better overall customer service option. And so I'm a big fan of it. I believe that it's the future of well-paid professionals in our industry versus other options that are really creating a race to the bottom. It's how fast can I do it and how low can I go? And everyone's a commodity. So I don't like that model. I really like the professional, building a professional network model that can really serve you well for in many ways.
Right. And the other thing about there's nothing like a fabulous referral to keep business coming your way. I have one family that's referred me 17 transactions.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah.
17.
And the reason I counted it was because I have a coach and I believe in long learning and continuing to learn everywhere you go. So I love it that you're out there teaching your method to people. Can you tell us a little bit more about your method?
Yeah, you bet. One of the things I'll start by saying where most people go wrong, because the reality is most professionals who want to have this end up not having it. And it's simply for a couple key reasons. They think that they need to start very much like with their sphere, that they need to start with this long friendship before they ever talk about business. So they'll
Right.
go to a chamber meeting, they'll meet someone, they'll take them to coffee again, take them to lunch, take them golfing. And then they think that they have to earn that right to be able to talk about business. And that's just
Right.
not, it's just not the case. kind of what I say is don't lead with friendship, lead with business value and let friendship develop. And oftentimes people will use friendship as their leading value proposition. Now, I'm not saying that you should not be friendly, right? There's a difference. You should always be friendly, but actually come into that conversation looking for ways to add value to their practice. The reality is most people have lots of friends, right? And they want to be in business with people who can actually add value to all areas of their life. And I don't think shopping friendship as the way forward in a B2B setting is the path to go. Those will develop as you develop great value for each other. Then you have deep friendship because you've done so much to help each other outside of that. I think that's one of the key things is be friendly, go in adding value, because these professionals, the ones who you want to be in business with, don't have a lot of extra time, right, to chit chat and develop new friendships. What they're looking for is someone who can add value to their business. So come in looking to do that. And then over time, that friendship will develop and it'll be a deep, really meaningful, sincere friendship because you've done a lot for each other. So that's one thing. And I think that if I could take the Upstream model, simplify it down to just a few steps, it's first and foremost, identify the client that you want to serve. Is it a senior? Is it someone, a first-time home buyer? Is it an investor? Find out, who do I love working? Who are the people who, if I could serve them every day, would be good for my pocketbook as well as for my heart? Like it's a good business opportunity and I love serving those people. Find out who those people are, then identify who are the professionals that also serve that same client, ideally just before they need you. Identify that industry, that profession. Once you identify that profession, right, then it's start looking for professionals. And oftentimes it's going to those favorite clients who you loved working with, saying, how was your experience with your estate attorney? Would you, if it was great, would you mind making an introduction? And now you already have something in common. You're not cold calling them right off the internet. You're saying, hey, you and I had a shared client. They said such great things about you. I wanted to get to know you better to see how I might be able to add value to your practice. Then actually have a conversation in which it's, tell me where you're headed in the next year. What would be a win for you a year from now? Then it's, tell me your plan to get there, right? What does that look like? What are you trying to accomplish? Or what are you going to implement in order to accomplish that? And then what potential breakdowns might get in the way? Like what obstacles, what things do you need to really work on to make sure that plan happens? Now you have a recipe to actually add value to that person. You know where they're headed, you know the plan, and you know what could get in the way. It's where you can really come in and every time you circle back saying, hey, I've been thinking about you and I have an idea, I have someone that I want you to meet. I have an idea that's worked in my business. I talked to another estate attorney who did it this way. And by the way, we are at the easiest time in history to be able to bring value to people, right? Today's technology allows us to identify problems in advance of sometimes the professional even knowing about those problems. Like you could go to, for example, ChatGPT and say, what are some of the greatest challenges that estate attorneys are facing in today's market? And then say, what are some great solutions to rectify that? Literally 2 minutes, you can be actually come into a conversation with expertise and knowledge to be able to add value. And if you have the heart to actually add value to those people, you will be so uncommon in the eyes of those professionals because most people come in asking secretly how they can promote you versus how you can help them.
That's like what John F. Kennedy said. Ask not what you can do for your country or what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Amen. Amen. That is it, Andrea. That's exactly it. It's having that heart, that mentality. And then over time, what you want to do is try and find a way to actually integrate your service into theirs, right? To where you almost become a part of their client experience. And one example that I'll share from my home building business is I knew that it was a superior experience when prior to the blueprints being completed, that an architect would actually go walk the custom home project site with the client to be sure that the home was situated on the lot correctly, right? These are big estate lots. So the home could be situated in any different direction. And he'd say, okay, in the spring, your son's going to be coming through your kitchen window at this angle. In the winter, it'll be like this. Should we move the house a little bit more? That was an experience that clients love, but not all architects did that. And so what I went to several and said, hey, do you do this? And typically it was like when I have time, but sometimes when I get busy, I just don't have time to do that kind of final step. I said, what if I were to put on your jersey, so to speak, and do that for you? And I'll go walk through them and I'll just report back. I'll report back to you kind of the experience. Now, what I was doing there was enhancing that architect's client experience. And I was also
getting a specialized skill to do that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be build homes all day long. And so it was that, plus it was giving me an early introduction to these clients. That wasn't promoting myself, but I was saying that I work very closely with Jared, for example. And he's asked that I do this because I have deep expertise in properly situating homes on lots. And so all of a sudden I integrated myself into his client experience. to where even if I didn't get the project, I had a pretty good shot at it because I was there early before any of the other contractors were even bidding on it. And all of a sudden they see that I'm bidding on that project. Oh, that's Justin who we met. Like, we know Justin. Oh, okay. So I already had an inside track.
No, that's a brilliant idea, actually, for a home builder. That's wonderful.
So
how do you translate that to realtors?
yeah, same process, same concepts, I should say. So you think about this with regards to, let's say, for example, an estate attorney, right? In fact, I'll use financial advisor. This is one that I use in the book that people can go back and visit. A challenge that a financial advisor has is that oftentimes they are the last ones to know when people are buying or selling real estate, right? Now, you wouldn't think that, but most people don't think of their financial advisor first when they go to buy real estate. They think of a lender, they think of a real estate agent. So oftentimes a financial advisor will be notified that someone's buying a house when they ask for a wire out of their retirement account to purchase a home. And
Right.
sometimes real estate agents aren't that eager to encourage people to go have that conversation because they're coming more from a place of scarcity. What if that financial advisor talks them out of it? That's up to them. So we just have to be more abundant minded to at times to encourage people to have the advice from all their advisors around them. I digress just a little bit, but thinking about how do we solve a problem for a financial advisor, right? Which is, if that's the problem that they have, what the reason why their clients are not bringing them up when they think about real estate, it's because they don't correlate the financial advisor to a real estate purchase or sale, right? They do when it comes to the money, but they don't when it comes to the actual buy or sell. And so a way for a financial advisor to integrate themselves more deeply into that client's mind that all things financial should run through me, right? Is to actually let that financial advisor know, to say, hey, I understand that some financial advisors don't always get notified when somebody purchases a piece of property or goes to sell one, and they might move money somewhere else outside of the accounts that you manage for them. What if I were to, because I would imagine you do an annual review with each of your clients. Yeah, I do. What if I were, prior to that annual review, were to do what I would call an unsolicited current market analysis, to where, and I'll even sign the bottom of it. I'll even put in some projections about what's happening in our community, whether we expect there to be more job growth in the area or some job loss, depending upon which companies are moving in, moving out of the area, so that you can speak to that here's what your real estate's worth now. And based on projections of a local expert here, it's projected that your real estate's going to continue to go up, or it's going to flatten out, or whatever. To where now, inside that meeting that the financial advisor is having with their clients, they're actually talking about real estate from an expert. Now, keep in mind, you're not in the meeting, but you're in the meeting. You might be with your family, but you were brought up, and that financial advisor might say, what are your plans with your real estate? Actually, we're kind of tired of being a landlord. I think we're going to actually sell our couple of rental properties, buy that vacation home before the kids get too old or grandkids get older, right? You've already done the work to earn some trust there. And all you did was a simple CMA, right? So that's one way to integrate yourself into the business of a professional, solving their problem, because now the clients think, anytime we think real estate, we should talk to our financial advisor. And you're, of course, his or her favorite person, because you helped him look really professional and not miss out on opportunities to really advise on all things financial.
Got it. Okay. So as a realtor, I would think that estate attorneys, financial advisors, interior designers, what are some other things that a real estate agent would be able to focus on?
Funny you mentioned that, Andrea. As you and I discussed before, I have a technology company that we've designed to help streamline this process and make it really easy for professionals to get more business from the client bases of these other professionals. So we've identified 50 professional types, all of whom are impacted when it comes to real estate or have some sort of influence around real estate.
Okay.
So and half of those are property service professionals, like home service professionals, right? All the people that are maybe downstream from a real estate agent, who, by the way, can still be great referral sources if properly
Absolutely.
equipped.
I actually got a listing this year from a guy who does floors for me.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
That for great agents like you, that's a reality. Others are like, really? The flooring guy? I thought he just received my referrals.
Not only that, but he asked me to be his Facebook friend.
And now it's official. Yeah. On the property service side, there's a number of attorneys that we've identified, family law attorneys, of course, real estate attorneys, probate attorneys. And then we also have architects, private bankers, of course, financial advisors, tax professionals, insurance agents, property managers, to name a few. On the home services side, flooring professional, as you described, roofer. Two out of every 5 roofs that are being redone are because it has to do with a real estate sale. right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
One out of every 5 homes that are being painted because they're preparing to sell. So these professionals are oftentimes actually, even though they're downstream partners for us, they oftentimes can be upstream from a real estate transaction. Right?
Yeah,
It's
because they've been
really,
approached by somebody already in some way.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so really what we believe is that some of those professionals will naturally become great referral partners and some
Mhm.
of them won't, even though you may try and you may try and you may try. So really what we believe in is actually multiplying your warm market. In fact, we call ProInsight a warm market multiplier, which
Mhm.
means that we've created a way for when you link up with another professional, is that professional, in fact, think of all of those professionals who I described, in fact, as many as 50 of them, becoming what we call a complete real estate resource.
Mhm.
When we approach a client, we are a real estate agent. But
Right.
imagine having 49 other professionals who take care of all things related to their estate, related to their home, and
Mhm.
that those were curated professionals in your local community who together were a resource that you gave out to all your clients saying, hey, I'm the exclusive real estate agent. I was chosen in this area to be that. And 49 other professionals who the community is really rated as the top in this area, one per profession, are behind this same resource. And I'm giving
Mhm.
this to my clients so that you have all things needed again to your home or to your estate, right? And so that becomes a value add of I'm in this elite community and everybody else that you're going to need instead of trying to thumb through Angie's list, getting bids, and you've got all kinds of people calling you all the time. Just here's the
Right.
guy that I would recommend. Here's the gal that has been identified in our area. You don't have to take on the liability of endorsing them yourselves, but you can say that this person was identified as similarly elite like me to serve you in as a handyman, right? As a state or probate attorney. So now you have
By
this
the
whole
way, we're always told when we refer people to refer at least 3 people because of exactly those liability reasons.
yeah.
Let's say you give somebody a chance to work on something and they mess it up. Let's say they install, I don't know, an island without putting the electrical outlet in properly, which is code. If that person were not to be a licensed contractor doing it, you could end up like in the soup, even if you weren't
Yeah.
even part of a transaction. So you got to be really careful with that stuff. Also, this elite group of people, how do you become the one real estate agent that's part of that? Are you creating this whole vehicle?
Yeah. That's the company that we built called ProInsight, where we go into each community, we identify the top realtor who works primarily by referral, typically sells between 2 to 4 homes every month, and they do it by referral. So we identify them and their preferred lender. And then at that point, we go into the community and we identify 150 professionals, 3 in each of those categories. Okay.
Great.
And so then we bring that back to the real estate agent and lender and say, this is who we're going to invite to an event to be elite in your area. Now, we've chosen those based on Google reviews, Yelp reviews, Better Business Bureau reviews, based on tenure in the business, of course, licensed, bonded, insured. So we've got
Hmm.
150 professionals to choose from. We then go to the realtor lender to say, who are the professionals that you actually already work with, who you would prefer? Let's give them a chance to see this first so they
Hmm.
can occupy, like the people who you already know and trust can be in that network first. And then
Hmm.
we'll go to the others and fill in all of the open categories from there. So in a matter of 5 weeks, you can have a group of 50 people around you that is a value proposition
Hmm.
unique to yourself that, hey, I was selected and these other professionals were selected. You're not saying that I selected them. They're just saying that ProInsight selected these professionals based on what the community says about them. And
Okay.
of course, we're checking for those things that you mentioned, that they are licensed, that they are bonded, they are insured. And then you come to that client as a complete real estate resource instead of just, here I am, compare me against the next realtor. It's me and
Right.
my 49 friends against that one person. I'm probably going to win that battle.
Just out of curiosity, what is the pricing structure for what it is you do? I'm
Yeah.
curious.
It's an annual membership. So we don't like maybe some of the bigger tech platforms that take a percentage of every referral. We don't. We believe very strongly that the real estate agent should be kept whole and all the other professionals. So we obviously make it up in volume because we have 50 professionals in each community, not just one. And part of the offering is that when a professional steps in, we send out 500 essentially these adhesive displays, these stickers that go out to all of the clients of each professional who signs up. So if you have 50 professionals, each of whom have 50 of these stickers that go next to, for example, the garage door opener that has a QR code that leads back to this community, right? To where now it's inside the homes of, call it 25,000 residents in your local area. right? And that QR code leads back to the site where you have one professional per industry featured. And so now you really have this unique value proposition that gets distributed out to all of the clients of the professionals. Because again, some professionals will be great at referring, others won't. But what we've created is a way to actually bypass that, to have it be a value proposition where we go straight to their clients, right?
Got it. And the cost behind all this annual cost, is it billed monthly? Is it billed annually?
It's an annual, yep. Because on our first month, we essentially spend close to $1,000 sending out this to all the clients. So it is just over that price, $14.97 for an annual membership. And we essentially distribute to 25,000 homes with you being the exclusive professional in each of those communities. And we've got a lot of good feedback, good results on that, of people saying, I've always wanted to find a way to get professionals to refer me. And you guys have taken another step. You've gone directly to their clients, to where I'm in the homes of these people as a complete real estate resource.
That's great. That's
yeah.
great. So how many states are you in? Are you West Coast? Are you nationwide? What's the deal there?
So I'm based out of the Portland, Oregon market. This is where we started. My business partner, Don Yoakum, who actually, some may recognize that name. I think he's the only guy in Keller Williams history to build 10 KW market centers from the ground up. He's not with KW anymore, but he really built quite the name for himself, kind of an icon in the industry. He was based at that time out of the Roseville market. And we have a nucleus there. One of our other business partners, Amy Stockberger, she currently leads the 33rd highest producing real estate team in the country, according to Real Trends. And she's out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Wow.
So we're kind of expanding out from these centers, and absolutely we'll be in all 50 states. We're not quite yet. We're getting close. But yeah, we're, again, because it's exclusive, right? One per community. We're really looking for the right professional, the ones who really want to work by referral and expand through a simple methodology to get the, not endorsement, because it's not really an official endorsement, but by being the exclusive professional in all these homes where somebody recognizes that person on the sticker, right? Think of the sticker, you got the face, a logo, brand. It's like, oh yeah, that's Andrea. I know Andrea, right? Oh, that's John. He's a
great angle. It's wonderful. It's like Angie's List for realtors in a funny way. It's great. So,
thank you,
Justin. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how are they going to do that?
Yeah, I'll say Justin at ProInsight.com. That's singular, PRO Insight, just like it sounds.com.
All one
easiest
word?
way to do it. All one word. Yep, that's the easiest way to probably reach out to me, is to pop into my inbox, or if you're on social, at Justin Stoddart, Stoddart. So we post quite a bit of content there. So yeah, we'd love to connect with any and all who.
And do you have a website for all of this too?
Yeah, we do. ProInsight.com is our website. So yeah, anybody that's interested in growing in 2026 by referral, really through the warm markets of other people. Again, we call ourselves a warm market multiplier. We multiply your warm market by as much as 50x. You don't have to deal with the big ad engines or that kind of limited feeling like I felt as a home builder. My sphere just isn't big enough. I want to work by referral, but my warm market's only this big.
This is great. It's wonderful. That's why I wanted to have you on. Besides, you were just so charming when I was on your show.
You're so sweet.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Andrea.
Hoping that you're going to be with lots of loved ones and lots of fun. So
all of that. Same to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and to your wonderful audience.
Thank you. Take good care.
You too.
Bye.
If you loved hearing from these incredible voices shaping real estate, you'll want to catch what's next. Click the video on screen to keep discovering more inspiring stories.